Hello, and welcome to the Department of Music at La Sierra University. We are thrilled to join you in this virtual space as we remember nearly a century of music here at our beloved institution. La Sierra has existed under several names: La Sierra Academy and Normal School, Southern California Junior College, La Sierra College, Loma Linda University, La Sierra Campus, and now La Sierra University. Whatever the name, the same commitment to quality music education, preparing young people for service in the church, the school, and the world. Music has been in La Sierra's DNA from its very conception. When Seventh-day Adventists in Southern California decided to open a new educational institution in early 1922, a principal and 2 faculty members were immediately chosen, and one of those was Miss Grace Nelson, the music teacher. Among the 6 graduates of the inaugural class of 1923, one graduated with a certificate in academic music. The early campus was short on buildings and supplies, with students having no running water or even stairs to reach the second floors of their dormitory buildings. But what was lacking in supplies was more than made up with enthusiasm. The early music department had only 2 pianos and a rickety old pump organ to meet the needs of the 45 students taking lessons. By its second year, La Sierra students were already giving piano recitals, and music ensembles included the Lyric Girls Choir, the Men's Quartet, and a motley orchestra posing here for photos in front of La Sierra Hall, still under construction. By the mid-1920s, there was a sizable violin studio, and coursework was being offered in music history, harmony, theory, ear training, and conducting. The importance that La Sierra places on music in education is clear from its actions during these early years, and it was also clear in the comments and opinions of teachers and students alike. Both often took to the pages of the campus criterion to extol the benefits of music. Professor Grace Nelson Reed asks, "Why have music in school? It is only a luxury, some say, but is that true? We at Southern California Junior College find music very important. Many are taking piano, not to become concert players, but to be able to understand and enjoy music for themselves." A student editor for the Criterion expressed a similar sentiment in more enthusiastic terms. "Picture this world without pipe organs, pianos, violins, harps, and horns for just one moment. What a cheerless world this would be without music. It is the mainspring of life and happiness. Although the sky above may darken, we may make our lives bright inside by singing some cheerful song." As the 1920s came to an end, it was clear that the music department needed a specialized and permanent home. Classes, rehearsals, and lessons took place in the dorm lobbies, empty classrooms, offices, or whatever space could be found, including outdoors under the open sky. In early 1930, La Sierra's president proposed the construction of several new buildings, including a building to house the music department, as well as a large auditorium to hold church and chapel services. The onset of the Great Depression delayed these plans somewhat, but despite the financial difficulties of the 1930s, we saw a large expansion in the physical plant of the college. Perhaps most important among these was the new music and chapel building. A $10,000 gift by Willits J. Hull allowed the building project to move forward. Hull was a businessman and real estate developer who owned the Rancho La Sierra, a large tract of land, part of which was sold to create the La Sierra campus in 1922. Sadly, he died just a few weeks before the new building was to open in early 1937, which was named Hull Memorial Auditorium in his honor. The auditorium, which was named HMA as it still is today, quickly became the architectural landmark for the campus. It was popular as a backdrop for photos of college clubs, graduations, and romantic couples alike, and was well for over a half-century known as the most photogenic building at La Sierra. Not only beautiful on the outside, HMA included much-needed office, classroom, and rehearsal space, as well as the auditorium needed for concerts and church and chapel services. Not content to rest, after the opening of the new building, the music department was able, 2 years later in 1939, to install a 28-rank SD theater organ, a gift from the Walt Disney Studios. Initially called the Mighty SD, it was also known as the Mickey Mouse organ, since it had previously been used to play the musical backgrounds to Disney's Mickey Mouse cartoons. Hugely popular on campus, there were as many as 76 students taking lessons at any given time. The SD organ served the music department well for over 30 years, until a brand new Cassavant organ was purchased and installed in the auditorium in 1970, an instrument that remains there to the present day. La Sierra's music department has been able to create many cherished traditions over the years and establish relationships with world-renowned musical organizations and artists. One of the first and perhaps the most beloved traditions came about again because of the need for a larger space for church and chapel. Completed in 1947, the Collegiate Church, now the La Sierra University Church, hosted the first Christmas candlelight service. For years, using actual candles, and today more wisely using battery-operated or electric lights, the annual candlelight concert serves as an official opening of the Christmas season and is one of the highlights of the year for the local Riverside community. The tradition of the annual concerto concert came about as the result of a number of factors. One was the quality of La Sierra's music students. In what may have been the first instance of a student playing a major concerto with orchestra, Marcia Specht performed a movement of Beethoven's first piano concerto in 1951. Another factor was a perceived gap in the piano curriculum by Professor Perry Beach, who joined the music faculty in 1956. He felt that the piano students were not learning the piano concerto repertoire since there was not an orchestra that could handle that literature. Beginning in 1958 and continuing for several years, Professor Beach accompanied the concerto soloist on a second piano, allowing the orchestra to accompany on easier works. The concerto concert was originally conceived as a vehicle for pianists, and the La Sierra Orchestra continued featuring talented non-pianists as solos in its own concerts. In time, these two merged, and the annual concerto concert came to feature soloists on all instruments. Eventually, the choice of student soloists became competitive, and the concerto competition included highly esteemed judges to choose the winners, who would then have the opportunity to perform their solos with the orchestra. Today, the overall winner of the competition is awarded the Marcia Specht Guy Prize, a cash award given every year in memory of the pioneering student pianist Marcia Specht. The music department has a long history of fostering relationships with the outside musical world, beginning with the Lyceum concerts of the 1930s and 40s that featured national and international soloists and ensembles. One early and enduring relationship has been with the Los Angeles Philharmonic, one of the world's premier symphony orchestras. Between 1956 and 1973, the LA Phil performed on campus 4 times, each one of these being a cause for great excitement among the student body and the local community. This institutional relationship was bolstered by personal friendships between La Sierra music faculty and renowned international musicians. It was not uncommon during this time for touring soloists like Isaac Stern and members of the LA Phil to visit the local homes of music faculty, especially those of Professor Perry Beach and violin professor Alfred Walters. These musicians would come to make music together and then enjoy popcorn and lemonade in between games of ping pong. This relationship strengthened when La Sierra and the Philharmonic made an agreement that the LA Phil's associate conductor would direct the La Sierra Orchestra. Many of La Sierra's full-time and adjunct music faculty have been members of the Philharmonic and have invited a number of the principal players to perform at La Sierra, including trombonist Jim Miller, violist Ben Ullery, cellist Bob DeMaine, and concertmaster Martin Chalifour. The music department has also hosted a number of important conducting workshops, including one that for many years featured Maestro Herbert Blomstedt working with orchestral conductors, and another for choral conductors under Sir David Wilcox. La Sierra has become a destination for choral and instrumental clinicians, a gift to our students and to our local community in Riverside and the Inland Empire. There is so much more I can and should say and share about the history and impact of music at La Sierra over the past century, but I hope that what I've shared emphasizes the importance of music in the education of our students and the commitment to excellence in music at La Sierra not only during the last century, but for the next 100 years as well.